He is Jim Jackson joining us on the program. Jim, thanks for joining us. How you doing today?
Thank you. I'm good, man. Sorry about that, man. West Coast time got me all messed up, man.
No worries.
Hey, we got a big W last night with the Clips. I was still celebrating.
Yeah, James Harden. James Harden goes for 50.
Yeah, it was one of those games, excuse me, where we didn't know what to expect coming off a tough loss against Phoenix, up 20-23. Kevin Durant, Booker kind of did their thing in the third, fourth quarter, and no Kawhi, but James dug deep, man. I mean, 38-plus minutes again, and the role players played well. Bogdanovich really started to fit into a role, and it's tough, Dan, as you know. Trade deadline, integrating new faces, kind of Drew Eubanks is in there, Patty Mills. It's a little bit different, but it was a great overall victory. Needed it for a team that wants to stay above that cut line at 6 for the upcoming playoffs.
Best duo in the NBA right now is
Luka and LeBron.
Yeah.
which is scary. I mean, because Luka is starting to fit in and trying to figure it out. And LeBron is acquiescing to allowing him to now initiate the offense, handle the ball. And it's only going to get better. And I think the biggest beneficiary is Jackson Hayes. Because now you have two playmakers that are able to attract defense, lob it to the rim, give you some other opportunities. So I think that team is in the West because of what's happened with Minnesota. I think Memphis is going to have some little bit of issues going down the stretch. That the Lakers put themselves in primetime position to be a threat to OKC.
We were talking about, it seems to be open season on LeBron. Analysts, broadcasters have no problem being critical of LeBron.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, granted, no social media with Michael Jordan, but
yeah,
let's say this was reversed. Let's say LeBron came before Michael Jordan. Would we be holding on to LeBron the way a lot of people hold on to Michael? That LeBron, all-time leading scorer, like all the numbers that he has, and then Mike comes along and wins 6 titles in the first 13 years. Would we be so quick to say Mike is now better than LeBron if it was reversed?
That's a great question because, the narrative around LeBron, it's very interesting because let me say this. I think we're critical in today's world on a lot of stuff, depending on who we like and what we prefer. And it depends on, too, I think it's not only LeBron and the basketball side, it's other things outside of basketball. Okay? The whole Miami issue, when he chose to go down to Miami, when it was to back to Cleveland, now to L.A., all that plays into more than just basketball. Mike did the same thing, and we judged it on LeBron just being with Chicago. Then at the end of the year, he unretired and came back and went to Washington. I think we would judge it the same kind of way. If LeBron had Jordan's mentality back in the day, and Mike had LeBron's with regards to playing more like a Magic, I think we would do that. And that's the unfortunate part is that, to me, greatness only comes along so often. We've been blessed. A Tom Brady, a Tiger Woods, a Wayne Gretzky, a Michael Jordan. Now we see a LeBron James, a Steph Curry. Guys like this don't come along. But when they do, in today's world, but we did it with Mike, though. They did it with Mike early in his career. They really nitpicked at Mike a lot about he's not able to win a championship the way he plays. Let's not forget that. Now, it wasn't blasted across mainstream news as much because we had newspapers. We had talk shows, but not a plethora of talk shows, radio-wise. Sports Center was kind of the main entity with regards to how we got our information and downloaded sports. So he was criticized, but it was all relative to that era. LeBron is criticized relative to his era, which is social media and all the other platforms individually, collectively, and as corporations. And that's why we get all of this, I think, backlash for or towards him.
Talking to Jim Jackson, Fox Turner NBA college basketball analyst, Clips and the Knicks coming up tomorrow night. Also USC, UCLA coming up on Saturday. It's still hard to explain Steph Curry because, if you never saw him, and I would say, all right, there's this guy, he might be 6'3", not necessarily fast, I don't know, maybe quick, not a great jumper, but he's the greatest shooter in the history of the game. Mm-hmm. Like somebody would go, no way.
No way.
What's the one thing that we should really, let's say you're a younger player.
Right.
What should you focus on with Steph Curry that if you want to be able to shoot, not like him, but you want to be able to be a really good shooter or get your shot off?
His footwork. His footwork is phenomenal for how much he moves. Because it's different when you have the ball in your hand. You can rhythm, dribble, get your feet set, create some space and shoot. But how much he moves, whether that's in transition, in half court, off of picks. So it's fundamental things to me. One, his footwork and how he squares his body up. Now, he's gotten so good as a shooter. Sometimes he can turn his right shoulder and is pointing towards the rim, and a lot of times they don't teach you that. But as a shooter, he's become so much more comfortable with that, he can get away with it, where a lot of players can't. Now, the form, the release, how he uses his legs, that's one thing. But his basic fundamentals of his footwork is phenomenal, of how he can run fast, gather his feet, get him squared up, and then explode into a shot. To me, that's where the basis is at. And to your point, too, about Steph, think about this. I think the reason why he resonates so well is because he looks like anybody else can do it, a la a Caitlin Clark. The reason why Caitlin and Steph are so much alike is because here are smaller individuals, not as athletic. They look like somebody walking down the street that just picks up a ball and goes play rec league, okay? But yet when they get on the court, they have this killer instinct. They have something different about them. And that's not saying that they're the best, okay? That's not saying that they're the best. But they're the best at what they do, and that resonates with everyday people. And it's a reason why they're so popular, and they're really good people too. So Steph is, again, one of my favorites ever to watch. And I had a chance to, when we played Golden State, the Clippers at home, to kind of just briefly talk to him before the game and just said, as a basketball fan and a former player, how much I appreciate what he's brought to the game. Just from a pure basketball perspective, the fun, the love that he has and he shows, and to continue to do it as long as he can, because I'm a big fan and I love to watch it.
Final 30 seconds. You can have Steph Curry's career or Kevin Durant's.
I'm taking Steph's.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
a little too quick there, I think.
No, because the scoring, Kevin Durant is one of my favorite players. Unbelievable. But the way Steph has been able to get it done, again, two different people, two different situations, two different organizations at the beginning. Out, maybe if they would have kept OKC together, more championships, more continuity, that might be a different answer. But today, what Steph has been able to do and win with one team, that's what you want as a player, because that's your legacy with Golden State. And I'll take that in a heartbeat.
Good to talk to you as always. Thanks for making time.
Always. All right, you got it, brother.
That's Jim Jackson, Fox Turner NBA college basketball analyst. We'll take a break. Last call for phone calls. What we learn, what's in store tomorrow, right after this.